Hello, everybody. Vlad Vizarano here, your California quarantine music director. I hope you're safe. I hope you're well. Hope you're staying indoors wherever you are. And obviously, these past few weeks, I think the world's kind of changed. Since the outbreak, everything is kind of turned upside down. And it seems like that's kind of all we ever get to talk about anymore. That's all we ever see on the news, just kind of runs our lives from every direction. So I was thinking to myself, you know what? Let's change the subject. What if we talk about something maybe a little more uplifting, like, let's say, music? So, obviously, a lot of orchestras have been forced to shut down through this crisis over the past few weeks, including ours, the KGS. And I was thinking to myself, as long as we don't have our usual way of coming together to make music, what are some ways maybe we can use this in a positive light? What are some ways that we can make this experience a musically positive one? And my first thought was, I often hear this from a lot of audiences. I often hear it from my friends also who go to concerts, is that they love what they're hearing on the stage. Uh, there's a lot of emotional information coming at them, but it's so long that they're always trying to find something to latch onto. It doesn't all seem to make sense. It's just it could be anywhere from 1 to 2 hours of music, sometime even more if it's an opera, and it gets a little bit overwhelming. And I can definitely understand that if you're in a concert hall or any kind of artistic experience or any experience really, if you don't speak the language of what it is you're trying to absorb, then of course you're trying to latch on to basically anything you possibly can. It just becomes free for all of information. You don't really know how to make sense of it all. And especially with music, I think that's something that's very easy to fix. I think non musicians actually know a lot more than they think. And with maybe a little bit of guidance, I think we can really help enhance not just the concert experience when you go and listen to music, but your general appreciation of music outside the concert hall when you listen it at home. So my first thought when I hear these things from audiences actually turned to films, and I mean the movie specifically. So when a concert goer says that it's hard to concentrate for 1 to 2 hours, sometimes more, my first thought is, well, we go to the movies, and this day and age, usually a film is at least maybe 2 hours long, and especially if you get into these superhero epics, Avengers movies, so on, they can be three hours or more, and people can't get enough. So it's not really a question of the length of the artistic experience. We can concentrate, and it's certainly not the quality of what we're hearing, because the music is great and it's been great for hundreds of years. It still hits all of us on all these levels. It's that, and I've actually experienced this myself. Before I started to study music for real, before I got a sense of the theory behind it and the form and all that, I was listening to an entire symphony like, let's say, a film that is in a language you don't speak and there are no subtitles. So that's essentially what I think people are experiencing in the concert hall. You go there and you just hear this massive information, this sound coming from all directions. And you don't really speak the language of how that sound is divided. Let's say it has a structure to it. Just like instinctually, you know that a film has acts and it has scenes, and it has a protagonist and an antagonist, and they all have a character arc that you can sense, not just because you know about film theory or anything, but you've seen so many films along the way. You've seen this arc play itself out over and over and over again, that that you have an instinct. You can instinctually tell what is about to happen next. What part of the movie are you in? Are you in the beginning? Are you in the middle? Does it seem like it's about to be the end? what is most likely to happen at the end, so on and so forth. And if those things don't happen according to plan, you know that, and you're surprised by it. So that's, I think, the language that we miss in the concert hall or in the general listening experience to classical music, because we don't have that training. I guess it's not as obvious as, let's say, in a movie theater. And that's what I like to do with these courses. I think you absolutely don't have to be a musician to have a conceptual idea of what it is you're listening to. You can totally have an appreciation for the form of a piece without even being able to read music. That has nothing to do with your oral experience of what it is you're actually receiving. And likewise, with things like tonality, atonality, harmonies, all of these musical terms, specifically musical theoretical terms, they sound like they're a completely different language, but when they're explained conceptually, I really think any non-musician can absolutely incorporate them into their listening experience overall. And that's what I'd like to do with these courses over the next few weeks, as long as we're all at home. Hopefully you're all at home. I think we can really learn some interesting things and have a lot of fun doing it. So hopefully you will join in. I hope to have one of these videos up maybe once a week or so, starting with next week on what tonality is, which is probably the fundamental thing that drives basically your entire listening experience for the most part, let's say. I'm just going to say for the most part in the concert hall or elsewhere. So that'll be next week. I look forward to seeing you all there. And as always, if you have any questions, any thoughts, anything maybe you'd like me to talk about, or any overall concert experiences you'd like to share, maybe we could start a conversation. So I'm looking forward to it. I look forward to speaking to you all over the next few weeks. And stay safe, be well, and I will see you soon.